Hey guys, welcome back. I hope you had a good weekend. I hope you stayed safe. So, last week, I told you guys to read chapter 7. Okay? And chapter 7 is mostly about the devil's advocate. So, devil's advocate means that you argue against your real opinion. Okay? So for example, let's say I believe strawberries are the most delicious fruit. Okay? If I play devil's advocate, I will pretend that blueberries are more delicious. And I will try to make reasons why blueberries are better than strawberries, even though I believe strawberries are best. Okay? Now, why would I do this? Why do we learn devil's advocate? How is this helpful? The answer to that question is back in chapter 16, cognitive biases and distortions, okay? Which is what you guys learned 2 weeks ago. So let me show you how the devil's advocate fixes cognitive biases. So, fundamental attribution error. Fundamental attribution error is ignoring context and making everything about personality and character. 인격. Okay? An example of fundamental attribution error. The boxer lost because he's a coward. He's guptangy. Okay. This could be true. It's probably not, but it could be true. However, if I play devil's advocate, I have to find other reasons. Okay? So, if I play devil's advocate, my real opinion is he lost because he's a coward. But, if I play devil's advocate, one second. If I play devil's advocate, I have to find other possible reasons. Okay? So, well, I think he lost because he's a coward, but I'm going to do devil's advocate. I'm going to find other reasons. Maybe he had an injured knee. I don't know. Maybe. It's possible. Actually, this happened. You guys know Chu Sung-hoon? I watched a fight with Chu Sung-hoon and another fighter. I forgot the other fighter's name. And Chu Sung-hoon looked terrible. He was slow. He looked old. The other fighter was just so much faster than him. And when you listen to the broadcasters, when you listen to the reporters, it was like, oh, well, he didn't train. He was lazy. Chu Sung-hoon was, probably partying. He didn't prepare. He's lazy. Okay? And I thought the same thing. But a little bit later, there was a news report that Chu Sung-hoon had a badly injured knee. So when he started the fight, he was already injured. And that's why he looked slow. It had nothing to do with his personality. This is very common. If I do devil's advocate, I can find explanations like this. Okay? And it's not just that one. Maybe it's the boxer lost the match because his technique is not good. Maybe his punching technique is not good. Okay? That's possible. It's likely. Okay? Maybe he lost the match because he got unlucky. This is possible. It's more likely than him being a coward. Okay? So when I have the fundamental attribution error, if I use devil's advocate, I can mostly get rid of my bias. I can mostly erase my fundamental attribution error. Okay. Confirmation bias. Confirmation bias is only listening to things you agree with, ignoring things that you disagree with. Okay? So, for example, let's say I believe Lee Sung-man is the best president in the world. or was the best president in the world. Okay? I think that Lee Seung-man is the best. And so, because of my confirmation bias, I will only read things that say Lee Seung-man is good. Anything that says Lee Seung-man is bad, I ignore. Okay? Very common bias, we all do it. However, if I play devil's advocate to myself, I have to argue that Lee Seung-man is bad. If I have to argue that Lee Seung-man is bad, I have to listen to his critics. 비평가. This cancels my confirmation bias. Devil's advocate is anti-confirmation bias. If you play devil's advocate, it will get rid of your confirmation bias. Very powerful tool. Okay? Same thing with negativity biases, probability biases. Okay? So, I said last week that we naturally pay much more attention to bad news than good news. Okay? This isn't always bad. In many cases, this is a good thing. However, it is still a bias. So, we can use devil's advocate to cancel this as well, to get rid of it. Well, not get rid of it completely, but we can make it much less. Okay? So, the coronavirus crisis, okay? The COVID-19 wiki. Okay, so my negativity bias tells me that corona is very dangerous, that millions of people could die, that we are probably going to have a recession. A recession is 경제후퇴, okay? And that, coronavirus might come back every year. So if I listen to my negativity bias, man, the world is terrible. Things are horrible. Wow, it's hell on earth. It's terrible. Okay? But if I do devil's advocate, I can cancel this bias to a large degree. So, I force myself to argue that things are good. Okay? I find out, this is true by the way, the world has never been richer. The average person has never had more money. The world has never been more educated. In all of history, we are the most educated people ever. Okay? We have never been safer. There have never been fewer wars. The wars that we have are small. More than any time in history, we are safe. Okay? Children. More than any time in history, most children live to become adults. More than ever before. Freedom. Oh my God, guys. We have more freedom to change our lives than any people in the history of Earth. So yeah, coronavirus is bad. Coronavirus is scary. But there's a lot of good stuff too. Because I played devil's advocate, I was able to balance the bad, scary stuff, oh my God, corona, with the good stuff. We're safe, we're rich, we're educated, we have lots of freedom. Okay? So, this is all important for a teacher because process, 과정, is much more important than memorizing the results. Okay? 암기, 벼락치기. Guys, these are bad ways to learn. That is a bad teacher. If a teacher just has you memorize stuff, they are wasting your time. Get a better teacher. Okay? Process is much better. Because when you learn process, you can find the result by yourself. When you do 벼락치기, when you do cramming, when you do memorization, you just learn the result. You don't have any connection to process. So if there's a new problem, If there's a different problem, you have no connection. Okay? You have no way to solve it. All you have is the stuff you memorized. This is really inefficient. Okay? There have been many scientific studies on this about memorizing versus learning process. And what they find is when people learn in process, they have more fun, they are more motivated, they remember better, and they solve problems in the future much better. When people focus on the result, when they just memorize, when they do gyokji, they forget after the test, they feel very painful, it feels very painful to them, it's no fun, and they have low motivation. So, this is why when you guys become teachers, you need to emphasize the process, okay? And process, one of the best ways to emphasize process is devil's advocate. Okay, so guys, I'm going to take a quick break here. I'll see you in video 2.